A million-barrel oil tanker is 300 meters long and built from tens of thousands of tons of steel. Yet on digital tracking screens, these massive structures regularly vanish into the dark. A million barrels of crude oil cannot physically cease to exist. If the broadcast signal stops, the ship hasn't evaporated. It is actively hiding. The motive is financial. For nations locked out of international trade by energy sanctions, going underground is a requirement for continued export. They rely on a parallel shipping system known as the shadow fleet. This network is comprised of aging vessels operating outside standard oversight, and today it accounts for roughly 17% of the global tanker fleet. The scale of this operation creates a blind spot in global trade. Thousands of ships are treating the ocean as an unregulated frontier, moving billions of dollars of cargo through gaps in the data. To sustain these revenue flows, operators employ three specific tactics of maritime deception. The first is manipulating the Automatic Identification System, or AIS. Every commercial ship uses this to broadcast its identity and position. Shadow vessels routinely turn these transponders off to avoid visibility. Alternatively, they spoof the signal, broadcasting coordinates that appear normal while the actual hidden route goes elsewhere. Some exploit a zombie ship loophole, assuming the identification numbers of scrapped tankers to bypass the regulatory system. The second tactic is the use of paper trails. Ships are registered in jurisdictions with minimal oversight, what the industry calls flags of extreme convenience, to hide their ultimate owners. By frequently changing their flag registration, a practice known as flag hopping, these vessels constantly reset their jurisdictional status and evade scrutiny. The third tactic occurs in the open ocean. Cargo is transferred directly between tankers through heavy hoses while drifting in international waters. This blends and launders the oil. By transferring sanctioned crude to another ship, its true origin is effectively scrubbed before it reaches its destination. These methods do more than just hide a single ship. They corrupt the baseline data that the entire global shipping system depends on for security. This digital deception carries immediate physical consequences. Most shadow vessels are past their operational lifespan, sailing with rusted hulls and failing mechanical systems. Because of their age and cargo, these ships operate without standard Western insurance, leaving them without the liability coverage required for a major maritime accident. When an engine fails or a collision occurs, the environmental damage is catastrophic. Coastal states are often left to pay for the cleanup, while the opaque shell companies behind the ship disappear. The damage also hits the financial sector. When sanctioned goods are successfully laundered into the market, the payments often flow through standard international banks. This exposes financial institutions to massive compliance risks. By inadvertently funding or insuring disguised shipments, they become liable for sanctions evasion they cannot see. The true cost of the shadow fleet is rarely absorbed by the sanctioned regimes. It is paid by the innocent coastal nations and global financial institutions left with the cleanup. Countering this level of deception requires a shift toward automated monitoring. Systems like DarkVesselNet are now using geospatial AI to audit the ocean. The logic is simple: anomaly by disagreement. The AI weighs what a ship claims about its location against what satellite sensors actually see. The system fuses cooperative AIS tracks with high-resolution satellite imagery, looking for visual confirmation of reported broadcasts. For ships hiding in the dark or behind clouds, it uses synthetic aperture radar. Microwaves bounce off the steel hull, even in complete darkness or heavy storms. This creates the aha moment in the data. A massive radar signature that lacks a matching AIS broadcast is physical proof of a dark vessel. A crew can manipulate a digital beacon, but they cannot hide 50,000 tons of steel from the laws of physics. Modern maritime security has shifted toward a model of global data accounting, augmenting Coast Guard patrols. This doesn't automate the law. Instead, it provides audited evidence traces. It gives human analysts a clear map of sensor availability, trajectory gaps, and visual proof of deceptive behavior. The AI proves the physical presence of an anomaly, but human investigation is still required to determine legal intent and ownership. Even when a satellite pinpoints a ship in the open ocean, the mystery remains. Who was the cargo for, and where did the money go? As long as the shadow fleet exists, the ocean will remain a battleground between deceptive data and physical truth.